Welcome back. Governor McMaster is sending troops to the U.S. southern border. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has asked other states to send help following the end of Title 42. McMaster released a statement saying in part, quote, "The safety and security of South Carolinians require that we stop the drug cartels, criminals, and terrorists from entering our country to peddle their poison," end quote. McMaster says the exact details of the plan will be done soon, and they aim to deploy those troops by July 1st. So Title 42 was a Trump-era immigration policy that expired earlier this month, and it allowed Border Patrol to turn away migrants based on their health.